Hey there, welcome back to my channel. So here we are with another one of these vacation hauls. Prepare yourself, you guys. I told you the series, it's gonna be a long one. I went a little crazy, but if you don't go crazy on vacation, when will you? So yeah, we've got 10 fragrances. This is the designer fragrance video. So these are all the designer fragrances I picked up. Except for there's going to be like a blind buy, you'll see. So these are all the designer fragrances that I've already smelled, but I will let you know whether or not they were blind buys when I picked them up. If that's not confusing enough. We've got a lot to get through. We're just going to jump right in. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So these were all bought on discount, which was the reason why it pushed me in all these directions. You'll see there is a unicorn fragrance that I've been wanting forever, that you guys have been recommending forever. So keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, we're just gonna get into it. The first one was the Gucci Guilty Absolute pour Femme. And that is in the 30 ml. So whenever I could, I got the smaller bottles this time around because I've learned my lesson while traveling, and yet it still wasn't enough because my suitcase was overflowing. And this one has blackberry, pink pepper, cypress vetiver, Indian patchouli woody notes, and amber. And here she is. I actually thought 30 ml, when I took it out of the bottle, or the box rather, I was so surprised because it looks so much smaller than what a 30 ml would be. You know what I mean? Like I have 40 ml bottles that are bigger than this, but just goes to show packaging can be deceiving. I think it's a really cute bottle. I think it's very sleek, and I love this kind of, I don't even know, like this kind of berry pinky red, I guess. But while I've smelled these before, a lot of them actually on the live while I was away, I don't remember them. And I've been trying so many fragrances in store and traveling and everything that it might be a little bit of a re-exploration of all of these, but right, I just need a refresher. So what I love most about this fragrance is the blackberry note. It's what I wanted to love the most. I was really like fingers crossed hoping that it was what I wanted it to be. And it is. It has a real like blackcurrant feel to it. And if you like blackcurrant, especially like a blackcurrant that's in that lush bubble bar that's like pink and red, or like pinky red and white, which I'm now blanking on. I love the black currant note in that. And the comforter. If you love the comforter, because I have the body splash of it as well, you're gonna love this. I really like that note in it. And it's got like a green, as if you're like smelling the vines and stuff on a blackberry bush or a blackcurrant bush as well. And I feel like it must be kind of like a combination of so many of the notes that can give off that greenish vibe. And it's a bit like spicy, but in the best way. So it's, you know, the vetiver, pink pepper, and patchouli, I think actually really complement the blackberry, and the blackberry is very blackcurrant-like. I love this. I absolutely love this. And it's not even the kind of fragrance where I usually would be into it, but it works for me, and I'm so happy that I picked it up. I've never owned any Gucci Guilty fragrances, which is crazy to think about considering my collection, but I really haven't. I have tried Gucci Guilty, just the original, years and years ago. I don't even remember what it smells like, honestly, when it was super popular. And I have tried Gucci Guilty Love Edition, which I do like, but I'm really happy the Absolute was on this like super great deal while I was traveling, and yeah, I love it. I feel like if you like Amethyst by Lalique, that's another one where you're gonna be totally enamored with this fragrance. And the 30 ml is so cute, so I specifically recommend Gucci Guilty Absolute in the 30 ml. Then we are going to get to the fragrance, I think it's the only one, out of the bunch where I knew what I was getting myself into and it wasn't a blind buy. This is Scandal à Paris. I hate the packaging on this. I have like a little decant sprayer, mini sprayer of it, and I remember really liking it. This is so hard. You have to like, whatever, you finally get it off. And this has pear, jasmine, and honey are the notes listed, but honestly, oh, and I got the little bottle in this too. Look how cute. I do like that this doesn't have the legs on top because I'm not really a fan of that anyways, and it's just a charm. I think it's really sweet. So this one, like I said, I had tried it before and I love it. Scandal à Paris is without a doubt infinitely better than the original Scandal. I just love it. It's so much sweeter in like an approachable way. The honey is not so like smack you in the face, sickly honey, but it is very, very sweet. The pear like has like a grapiness to it as well, at least to my nose. I just love it. This is my kind of sweet fruit floral with honey. Like I cannot get this out of my head. Like this is the kind of fragrance where you wear once, it's just juicy and delicious. It is, yeah, it's delectable. Like that's the perfect word for it. Absolutely delectable. I wish this was a full size and my regular Scandal was like a smaller size, because I think I fell under the hype with just the original Scandal and I rarely, if ever, wear it. Like the honey in that is just so sickly and it can be off-putting to me, but this, oh, I love Scandal à Paris is a winner. Love that. It was the only one I tried beforehand, so I knew once I saw it on a deal that I had to pick it up. Then this was such a treat. This was like at a little perfume shop right by the beach, and a beach that I'd been to 1,000,001 times. I had never noticed the store, and they had like a bunch of fragrances, obviously, but a bunch of like really discounted fragrances and hard to find fragrances. And I could have spent like hours and hours in there, but I was busy, so I only had like a little bit of time, and I could only really get 2 fragrances because, like I said, it was like one of my last days and I was scrambling with size. So these are the 2 I picked up. I'm gonna go in order because the second one is that unicorn fragrance. So the first one I picked up because it was such a good deal. This was literally the 100 ml of this fragrance was, I think, 35 euros, which is ridiculous for a Chanel fragrance. This is Cristal Eau de Toilette. 100 ml, like I said, he was selling it for 35 ml. So I was like, I don't even really like this fragrance because he had a tester out. But I am not about to pass up a Chanel fragrance. A full-size Chanel fragrance for 35 euros is a done deal for me. So here she is. I actually really love the plastic caps on Chanel fragrances, which nowadays, like, they're magnetic, which I think is better. But even though it's plastic, like, I think it's got something chic about it. This is a very green, fresh floral. It's definitely not for everyone. This is lemon, bergamot, hyacinth, rosewood, honeysuckle, jasmine, oak moss, and vetiver. It is very green. I'm just gonna spray it in the air. And quite mossy. I know there isn't moss in the, oh, there's oak moss actually. Yeah, great. It is quite mossy. That's not really my vibe in a fragrance. Like I said though, even if just to have with my other fragrances out, like it was just too good of a deal. And it's all right. Like I'll be honest, green fragrances, it takes a lot for me to like warm up to them, because I find I reach for them probably the least out of everything, except for maybe animalic fragrances. But this is quite tart, like quite citrusy as well. So I just feel like there's going to be very few days out of the year where I'm going to want a green fragrance, and then within those, this wouldn't necessarily be my go-to. If I'm recommending to you guys, I would say if you find it for this kind of price, pick it up. Why not? but personally I'd rather go towards like a Gucci Bloom kind of green fragrance. Anyone in that range is more my jam than Cristal Eau de Toilette. However, you know, I picked it up. I'm really happy to have gotten it for that price, and I'm happy to have it as part of my collection. The second one from that store though, oh my God, I could not believe my eyes. There was just one in store. She was staring at me in the face and I was like, yes. So here she is. I still can't believe it. I've only worn her like once. I sprayed her like 2 sprays because I wanted to show you guys. This is L'Instant Magique, L'Instant Magique, Eau de Parfum by Guerlain. Yeah, here she is. I have L'Instant de Guerlain, and you guys, everyone, including you and your mother, have been telling me, if you like powdery fragrances, you need to get your hands on this. It's so hard to find. And boy, you guys weren't kidding around. It was very hard to find. But there she was in like the B bottle, and I was like, yes, wonderful, I found her. So this has anise, bergamot, lemon, violet, mimosa, rose, freesia, carnation, iris, almond, vanilla, white musk, sandalwood, and amber, and cedar, sorry. So this is like my 3rd spray. You guys were right. I mean, I love it. It's beautiful. I definitely prefer it to L'Instant de Guerlain. I feel like L'Instant de Guerlain is a lot, it's like a warm powdery, and this is a cool powdery. And while I like both, I much prefer a cool powdery. This has like an icy, like ice violet vibe to it, which I really enjoy. And in that way, it reminds me of Insolence Eau Glacée, which I do have. But this has more of like a makeup-y powderiness to it as well. I think it's stunning. This is easily could be like a signature scent worthy fragrance for me or someone who's into powdery fragrances. I have no idea why this was discontinued or hard to find or what have you. Whatever it is with Guerlain, this is beautiful. All of you were absolutely correct when you said I'd be into it and it'd be my favorite. I love it. I don't know how things will change, but right now it's like, we'll see how much it makes its way into my heart, because you guys know Insolence means like everything to me, but oh, this one is just so, so beautiful. So that is L'Instant Magique by Guerlain. All right, so the next one, we're back to the blind buys. The rest are all blind buys as well. Even L'Instant Magique was technically, but then I smelled it in the store because he had like a very little tiny baby sample. And oh my God, I'm so, so obsessed with them. The rest of them I didn't smell until I got home because there were no testers and I was on a constant rush for more fragrances. So I was trying to find Armani Code Satin on a good deal. And I have cashmere and I love it, and I love satin. I've smelled it before and I couldn't find it. But in the midst of all that, I found Armani Code Absolu for a really good deal. Again, the 30 ml, and I never really heard anything about it that much or even at all, really. Like it wasn't familiar to me. So it was for a good deal and I decided to pick it up. This is green mandarin, apple, nutmeg, orange blossom, carrot seeds, vanilla, tonka, suede, and woodsy notes. And after I got it home, I actually was pleasantly surprised. Like I wasn't sure about all the notes, and I was like, you know, you like the range, you might as well. And I love it. I don't know what carrot seeds are supposed to smell like. I've seen them in some fragrances before and I've always been like curious. If it's within this, it smells great because I think this is a really beautiful fragrance. I love that it had, like, it leans much more towards the Code Satin world than like the Armani Code original, which honestly the original is my least favorite of all the flankers I've tried, because this has that thing that the vanilla and tonka and like orange blossom do where it gets root beer like. This has it as well, but in this one it's slightly less sweet and slightly more like woody. And I really do like it. I'm so happy because I was very pleasantly surprised that it had that vibe. And honestly, it ended up just making me feel better that I didn't even find satin, because I haven't really seen this around at all. It might be, but I haven't really seen it. So I was really happy to have it. And look, this is a 30 mil and this is a 30 mil, and just even in weight, like it's just unbelievable. Whatever. I'll just never understand how little that Gucci Guilty bottle is. So then I've always been really curious about this particular candy flanker. And last time I was in Portugal, actually, I saw that it was like full price and it was not going on sale, and I was like, forget it. And this time the whole set was on sale. So this is Sugar Pop. It's Prada Candy Sugar Pop. I've always liked it because it's like pink and that baby blue, and it was in the set with the lotion. So very cute. And this has this lists red apple, citruses, bergamot leaf, white peach, floral notes, caramel, and vanilla. I have Kiss and one of the other ones of Prada Candy, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I was so worried about red apple because I don't really like apple as a note. And if I'm going to like it, I like red apple the least as a note. Like the Red Delicious by DKNY is ingrained in my brain, and I hate that fragrance, and I own it from way back in the day. And I was so scared that this was going to remind me of that, but it does not. You definitely do get some apple in the opening, but it doesn't stick around. And honestly, it's also so like floral and citrusy and not powdery, but it's like clean and gourmand. Like I just think it's an all-around great flanker. It makes sense to me why this is one of the favorites of the entire range, at least in people's like reviews and from what I've heard. And this was like the full size, literally, and the lotion were on such a good deal. So here she is. I'm so happy to have her as part of my collection. I just love the color. The box was so pretty as well. It was like this color pink, and I kind of wish the bottle had like something pink in it as well, because the box looked like this. But those are just, I'm being nitpicky, and yeah, I really, really do love it, and I'm so glad to have it as part of my collection. So if red apple never really worked for you guys, because I know it's a note that doesn't work for some people, and you've been kind of thinking like, oh, I'm gonna skip on that one because of it, do not worry. It's so slight and only an opening, and it's not at all like a main part of the fragrance at all, in my opinion. And then we've got a Givenchy fragrance, which I was so pleased to see was like very much on sale, because it was the full 100 ml and it was like 60% off. So I knew I had to snatch it up. And this is Eau de Givenchy Rosé. I'd never smelled it before, never really knew anything about it, but I'm a rose fragrance gal for sure, and the note seemed interesting, so I picked it up. This lists osmanthus, mandarin, hyacinth, rose, jasmine, white musk, and patchouli. And I thought the bottle was very chic. It's very nice. I might have tried this in the live, actually. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But again, like all of these fragrances since the live, I smelled them like once and then never again, because I had to travel. So I do really like this fragrance. I feel like there is a juiciness to this and like a fruitiness to this that's actually really unique, because it's so like, I don't want you to get the wrong idea when I say mature. It's not mature in like how some people use that in a bad way with fragrance where it smells dated. It doesn't smell dated at all. But I think it's just such a nice, like classy, mature way to bring fruit in this fragrance, and it's juicy without smelling overly youthful or very young or just like body splash like. It doesn't smell like that at all. And I actually think it's really, like, this is a very classy fragrance, and it's so light in the way that it's doing it. Like, it's not in any way dark or like being dragged down by anything super sickly sweet or super woody or super anything. I just think it's a really nice fruity rose floral. And while I don't get hyacinth at all, because hyacinth, if you've ever smelled them, especially around spring, get them all the time, that's a very distinct floral smell, and I have yet to smell hyacinth as a note really, really like predominantly in any fragrance whenever it's listed. So that's the only thing I want to point out, is if you were looking at this thinking this is a hyacinth fragrance and that it's going to highlight that, it doesn't at all. I feel like the rose is the star here, as you'd expect with a name like Eau de Givenchy Rosé. But yeah, other than that, I think it's super beautiful and I love it. Then the next one is a fragrance I saw, and this house in general I see in like Spain and Portugal all the time, and I've never picked it up, and this time around it just got to me, and I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna get a two fragrance. So two is like, there's bags and jewelry and everything. It's a designer that I am not super familiar with in terms of like their whole range, but I see them all the time in Europe, like everywhere. So I got Oh the Origin. It was super on sale, like I said, and I thought might as well. This has tangerine, blackcurrant, pink pepper, lemon, rose, orris, ambrox, musk, tonka, and vanilla. And I was really surprised when I took it out of the box, because I don't know why, I was just expecting it to be like a uglier bottle than this, and I have no reason or answer as to why, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was nice, and I've probably sprayed this the most out of everything, very surprisingly. So just gonna remind, okay, I remember one of the things I love about this is the sprayer. So fine and so much fragrance. So the first thing that really stood out to me, which I was not expecting, is this has like an powdery, like powder vanilla scent to it that is stunning. Kind of like a vanilla white amber. Amber isn't even in this, but like the tonka and vanilla and the powderiness in this, I was really not expecting. I was expecting, at least in the opening, for it to be quite fruity and it's like tangerine and tangerine, sorry, and blackcurrant, and I don't really get that. Like straight off from the beginning, I get a very sweet vanilla powder that thankfully doesn't have any like pink pepper kick to it, and it's just like a slightly rosy as well, and the orris, like I feel like it gives it that powdery paperiness. I was so pleasantly surprised, because this is the fragrance where I had like the least amount of expectations. I was like, just take a risk, and I find myself reaching for it all the time. I think it's going to become like a secret love in my collection, and yeah, I really do love it. So if you see it around and you see it for a deal and you've been wondering about two as a house in general, I can't recommend it enough. I love that one. Okay, so the last two, my gosh, and then we're gonna have to somehow put these in order, which I have no idea how I'm gonna do. But second to last, we've got Light de Joie. So I know I talked about this on the live. I was really worried that this one was going to smell like Yellow Diamond, and thankfully it does not. I'm just gonna spray it on my hand. So I thought in the live, I remember I thought it was like, it has mimosa in it or something, because there was something fuzzy, and it doesn't. It must have just been the musk, the white musks. This has bergamot, jasmine, gardenia, white musk, and woody notes. And I do really like it. Like none of the de Joies have been disappointing to me. They've either been like likes to loves. And this one, I do really like it. I love how this one has like the stone top, because I don't think all of mine do. I still think in my head, Sun de Joie is my favorite that I own, and Terra de Joie is my favorite that I've smelled overall. But this is definitely better than Sky de Joie. Sky de Joie till now is the one that's been like, the most. So I really like it. I think this is a beautiful spring fragrance. I can't wait to pull this out in spring and just have this be my spring fragrance. It just makes me think of like day dates and being like out for brunch and just like a girl's vacay. It's so feminine and soft and lovely. So I love that one. And then finally, last but not least, I have Kenzo World Power. So I was putting this like off completely because Kenzo World is a fragrance that I smelled ages ago and I cannot stand. I hate that fragrance. I haven't smelled it in years now, but when I had smelled it, I hated it. Like I truly couldn't stomach it. It was almost like a scrubber from what I remember. So I didn't even think ever to try a flanker because I'm like, how different could they be? But this one had a tester out in the store, so I thought might as well, whatever, I'll try it. And I really did like it. It was super salty and I loved like how unique it smelled. So I picked it up, and this it just lists cypress, sea salt, and tonka, and I feel like if there are other notes, this is exactly what it smells like. Like those 3 notes is what this smells like. And I love the sprayer on this as well. This is a very cypress, sea salt, tonka fragrance. It is exactly those 3 notes, and I feel like it smells like that from the beginning till end. Especially like the salt and the sea salt in this is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful. This is now my favorite salty fragrance because for a while Omnia by Bulgari or whatever that one was, I was like, oh, that's such a true sea salt fragrance. And it doesn't have any sweetness to that one at all. Like it really does smell like you're by the sea, but this is way more wearable. And I just think it's unique. It is so fun. It truly smells like you've got like a tonka vanilla dessert that doesn't smell too gourmand, and a whole bunch of flaky salt and like cypress leaves or something. But it really, I mean, more than the cypress, it really does smell like a tonka dessert, like a vanilla tonka dessert, and then a whole bunch, like a fistful of sea salt. And I love it. I love this fragrance. I can't wait to just like pull it out of its box now and just continue wearing it. So I think it's so stunning, and I definitely recommend Kenzo World Power. If you never liked Kenzo World, still give that one a chance because I think it is lovely. So now to put these in order is going to be very hard, honestly, because I feel like while I know my last place, like my 10th place will be Cristal by Chanel, it's just the one I'm gonna wear the least. The rest of them, it's difficult for me to put in order because I ended up really liking pretty much all of them. I'd say just that straight off the bat, 9 to 1 are all like super wins for me, and Cristal was the only one that I already knew. It was just more of like it's a good deal, don't pass it up. So in 9th place, I put Light de Joie. I just feel like it's just a little bit more generic. It's probably a little bit less like full bottle worthy and a little bit more like a roller ball will do you. But again, like I really do like it, so it's hard to say. Then I'd put Eau de Givenchy Rosé, again for that reason. Like the fragrances now with a collection of my size, if it reminds me of anything in any way, shape, or form, it's automatically going to be docked 1 point, even if I really like the fragrance. So that one has to go there for sure. Then I'd say Sugar Pop. I do like it, but there's just others that stand out to me, and this one is a like for sure, and there's other ones that are just like smack me in the face love. Then it gets harder. Then I would say maybe I would put Gucci Guilty Absolute pour Femme, because I'm gonna be less likely to go for like a blackcurrant blackberry rather than like a powdery amber mix type fragrance. And the rest of them are either powdery ambery or like tonka, sea salt, grapey. So now we get into the top 5, and the top 5 is hard to pick from, let me tell you. I would put in 5th place, ooh, it's so hard. In 5th place, I would put Armani Code Absolute, just because I do have cashmere already, and if I had to give it up, I give this one up because I do have one that is in that same realm. In fourth place, I would put Eau d'Origine 2 because I love it and it needs to be within the top 4. I think it's so beautiful and understated and actually a really big surprise. In third place, I would put Kenzo World Power. I think it's lovely. I think it's unique, and the Tonka sea salt is totally up my alley. In second place then, I'm sure you guys can guess, I would put Scandal at Paris. I love the grapiness, the pear, the honey. I think it's chef's kiss. And then in first place, L'Instant Magique. This is my baby. I have a feeling I'm going to be talking about her a whole lot. So yeah, she is in first place. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very long haul video. Many more hauls to come. Don't forget to comment below and let me know which one of these fragrances you've tried or that you'd like to try, and I'll see you next time. Bye!